All right, hey, it's Ronin, man. Today we're going to talk about Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie and like just the hopelessness of getting married. So everybody knows Brad Pitt, so it's a good example. Like, he was the hottest. I mean, he was the hottest, number one movie star in Hollywood. And I remember that a lot of foreigners in Japan would get laid if they looked anything like Brad Pitt. You could just put Brad Pitt in your profile, you know?
Oh,
like,
shit, people
yeah,
did that?
yeah. And then you would just get laid like crazy because the Japanese girls were just waiting for Brad Pitt, right? So he was so hot, right? And so he's married. He got married to Jennifer Aniston, right? Jennifer Aniston and Friends, if you old enough to know that era. And Jennifer was actually a pretty good wife to him, and seemed like they had a good time. And I tell you something, Jennifer has some nice titties. I remember there was a picture of her paparazzi took. Mm-hmm. She was in the backyard with Brad in the house, right? And the thing is that she was topless, and you could see her boobs in it. I was really surprised because usually, like, stars, their boobs are not very big. You know what I mean? It's always disappointing, right?
Yeah. It's not a stereotype.
Whereas like regular girls, they're usually kind of hotter, right? Uh-huh. So, but either way, no, not her. She was awesome. She looked great. She looked fantastic. I thought her boobs were about as good as it gets. Like a shape and size for me, you know. I don't like huge rack. Although it's kind of interesting, a huge rack, but I mean it's not my thing. Yeah, let's just walk around here. So either way, she was a pretty good girl for him. And you know, if you're gonna get married to a decent girl, right? So she was a pretty decent girl for him. Treated him pretty well. She still looks good. She's like 50 or something.
She looks
right?
awesome for like 50. She has a book about being young.
Oh, does she? Okay. Yeah, she still looks pretty good, and that's something, you know, because a lot of people don't look good when they're older, right? You know, she looks good, right? And so then he goes on he's on the movie with Angelina Jolie. Angelina Jolie then, she basically, you know, when they're co-starring, right? So she steals him. She cheats with Brad Pitt, and then steals him away from Jennifer Aniston. And at the time, she was like super hot in Hollywood because she had big boobs, right? And so she was in a couple of movies that were popular.
Tomb Raider, what other movie?
Oh, Tomb Raider, yeah.
Tomb Raider.
She was good in Tomb Raider, right? So I don't remember that movie too well, but I remember that I never liked the way she looked. I never thought she was as hot.
Really?
I never thought she was nearly as hot.
She was super hot.
I never thought so. And to me, she was a type that wouldn't age well. You know, I like girls who age well. You know, you can tell the difference.
You can tell.
You can tell. Oh yeah, you can tell. And the older you get, you start to see over time what girls look like. There's a certain look. It's more natural. They don't need any makeup, and they just look good no matter what they're wearing. They look good in the morning when you wake up and look at them. They look good on Friday night after 6 beers. You know, they still look good somehow. You know, so she was the type that needed a lot of makeup and she needed to fix herself up a lot, right? So that's a bad sign, right? So either way, I wasn't a fan of Jolie. But either way, fine. So he marries her, right? He leaves his wife and he goes with Angelina Jolie. So that's just not a good start. That's a bad start. Because I mean, do you really want to? I mean, like, okay, if you're gonna cheat right when you start with your wife, right? Like, is that good? That's not even like a good place to start, right?
I mean, you're like a cheater, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think the word cheating has any meaning. I don't like the word cheating in general, but there is some meaning to every word, and in some situations there's meaning, right? This particular situation was pretty brutal, right? Because here's Jennifer Aniston being a pretty good job as a wife, right? And obviously fucking him, and they're smoking weed together. He's having a decent time.
They smoke weed together?
Yeah, they smoked a lot of weed, and then so Brad has to leave her, and Brad, you know, kind of gets taken away, right? And then
he fucked up. He said yes to that girl.
Right. You know, I mean, definitely it's his fault. But I mean, it was such a tragedy because I mean, the guy was so hot at the time, right? I mean, it just doesn't get any hotter than Brad Pitt, right? No need to be saying more. But okay, so what happens next?
Let's go down.
The noise is too much noise. So what happens next is this is when the tragedy starts. So he meets Angelina Jolie. She starts adopting kids from all over the world. So she's adopting like 1 million kids, right? So now they've got like 5 kids. They've got like 5 kids of their own or 100 kids of their own. they're adopting kids from Africa and Sweden. And,
Keep in mind, he has no
Yeah.
word in it because if he doesn't like it, then she'll divorce him and he takes his money. So
oh yeah,
doesn't really,
he has to do whatever she wants at this point.
Right, exactly.
I mean, he left Jennifer Aniston. You know, he really has to kind of like play ball now. So he does, right? He plays ball. He goes along with all this stuff. Okay, now he married her because of her tits, right? Next thing you know, she cuts her tits off. And she had no reason to cut her tits off because she usually, if you have breast cancer, right, then you have to have your breast removed, right? Whether you're a guy or a girl or whatever, you know, it's just the way it is, right? But that's not the way it was with her. She never had breast cancer, but she had her DNA, her had a tendency to breast cancer. That's all. That's it. No breast cancer, right? So, but that's enough. She's gonna have her tits cut off, and I think it was just to spite Brad. Personally,
Yeah,
you know, it was.
fuck.
Yeah, he was like, hey, you know, let's just do whatever we want. He's my man. I you know, like it was really embarrassing for Brad because she didn't have cancer. She didn't need to have her tits cut off, you know. And he married her obviously for her boobs, right? So it was a big part of why he married her, right?
It's publicly humiliated.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Can you guys? I mean, when you guys have a girlfriend with no boobs, I mean, you can maybe do it once good or twice, but I mean, can you do it every time with a girl with no boobs at all? It's not easy, man. You just don't feel that horny when you know what I mean. It's a key part of a woman is the boobs, right? I'm not saying they have to be massive, but it's just like breasts are part of being female, right? So, so there we go. She's cutting off her boobs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think this is just evil. I mean,
how long is it into their marriage, by the way?
I don't know how many years, but I don't know how many years he was married. I'm guessing about 10 or something. They were married, so probably maybe 5 or 6. And then she makes up some BS that it's because of the reason why she's getting married is because of some kind of, I don't know, what did she say? Or why she's getting her boobs cut off was because to prove something to be what is it called? Like what did she say?
Awareness, something?
Yeah, awareness of
You're
skin.
like a saint?
Yeah,
Like
cancer.
the
Yeah,
term saint?
like a saint. Yeah, like a Catholic saint. She's a breast cancer saint and everything, right? But the truth is, any breast cancer doctor that you read about that time, they were all saying it's ridiculous. You should never cut part of your body off because you might get cancer. You know, it's like cutting off your leg because you might break it doesn't make sense. It's just stupid. It's totally stupid. And every doctor agreed that she was completely ridiculous. Then we find out that she has no friends in Hollywood. So when she divorced Brad, yeah, she hinted that he had done some terrible things and nobody knows what they are. But apparently they were really, really terrible, right? So she's, I guess what everybody thought she was saying was that Brad obviously was physically abusive to the kid, is what she was hinting at, right? But she never said it. She never heard. She always said, if you knew, it was going to be so bad, right? But the reality is they never said what it was, right? So basically, this was one of the rare situations because Brad Pitt is so well liked that he actually kind of won the public battle. And people were like, screw Angelina Jolie, I'm going with Brad Pitt on this one. Because there's no black guys, there's no hurt kids. There's just Angelina Jolie taking the kids. And she already was a cheater in the beginning, you know, stole a man, took the kids, you know. So she kind of lost the public battle, which is very rare for a woman to lose the public battle.
Right.
Only the best guys can do this. Only the very
Top,
most,
like the number one fucking Brad Pitt.
the most popular, the most
super rare.
Yeah, it's super, super rare. So she did win. He did win, but he just, when I say won, it just means that his life wasn't completely destroyed and humiliated to no end, because that's what usually happens to guys, is that they lose everything. They look like, I mean, they're called like child molesters or whatever they're called, you know. They're called all kinds of terrible things that haunts them for the rest of their life. So either way, so Brad, what happened to Brad? He was the top of the thing in Hollywood. Next thing you know, and globally, and next thing you know, he is basically raising other guys' kids. Okay, so I don't know how great that is, right? Raising other guys' kids. Personally, I'm not that into it myself. Everybody has a right to do it, and I think it's great that somebody raises adopted kids. And if you want a kid and you can't have a kid, perfect chance to adopt a kid. I'm not against it, but if you got a choice of your own kid or, you know, raising someone else's kid, I mean, definitely any guy wants his own kid, right? You know, of course, right? So, you know, either way, so he put up with that. He was like a saint. Brad Pitt was a bit of a saint, I think, you know, and then but what happens is he still gets painted with the brush of maybe child molester, right? That's basically what he gets, even though he is like a really cool guy and really nice to everybody, right? So either way, so what we're talking about now is we have a man who's, I don't know how old he is, let's just say he's 45, 47. He married her 10 years ago. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but the 10 years between 37 and 47, a lot of your horniness disappears,
Right.
And so, no matter how many girls you have access to, you just don't feel the same. When you're with your first girl when you're 21, in your new dormitory room or something, or when you're 12 or whenever it was for you, but it feels so good. It's so exciting, right? It's so exciting, right?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Whereas when you're 47 and you get laid, it's just not the same, right? It's just not the same, right? So, basically we're talking about she took his best fucking years. Now he is the hottest guy in Hollywood, and she took the best fucking years of his life, right? When he would be fucking all these Hollywood starlets and everything. And so there he is. There you go, guys. This is the best case scenario. I mean, he's not in jail. I don't know how much money he's going to have to give her, but obviously it's going to be a lot, as it always is, And Brad Pitt is now kind of washed up a little bit. And if Brad would have stayed single, like his friend, George Clooney, then he would be the man.
He would be the shit.
He would be the man. He would be the man. Okay, I don't think so. He would be the man because he's, he never gave in, and every girl lining up to be with him, right? I mean, not every girl wants to screw a famous guy, but if you've ever been in a situation where you're a highly in demand dude, which I have, it's crazy. Girls really line up. I mean, they do all kinds of crazy stuff that they don't do when you're not super in demand, right? And he had a period where he was super in demand, but I mean, of course, obviously he can get a girlfriend in Hollywood anytime he wants, but it is different. It's different when you're number one. When you're on fire, when you're a global phenom, and you're young, and you know what I mean? It's like, damn, So basically you can't win getting married because kids get taken away. The woman can do whatever she wants if she's married, because it's quite common now to have breast implants, and then after getting married, to take them out, right? So basically the boobs get all stretched out, and then when you take out the breast implants, they look really bad, right? Because maybe they were small before, but now they're all small, and let's go this way. So then they're all small, and now they're all stretched out and stuff, right? So it's getting a boob job and then taking it out is really evil, right? So this situation was even worse because I don't know if they were fake or real, but she cut them off. She cut them off so they're totally flat, right? That's totally screwed, right? No guy wants that. Who wants that? Think about it. Who wants that? A woman, and it's so embarrassing too. Like she's supposed to be a sex symbol. She's got no boobs. Come on, no guy in his right mind wants to screw a woman with no boobs at all, right? It's nobody, And so, it's all a big farce, you guys. This idea that there's these sexy women in Hollywood is just you're crazy. I see more hotter girls just walking around in my daily life than on TV, right? Usually by the time somebody gets famous, they're usually old, like they're hot when they're young, right? 17, 18, they're super hot, right? Then they get 20, they're hot, 21, they're hot, but they get to be, get up there. By the time you get famous, usually you're pretty old, and you're not as hot. So Hollywood's just a big farce anyway, that these girls are so hot. She was voted most sexy woman alive. I remember once, I think it was People magazine. I mean, just don't believe this shit, you guys. Look at these women for what they are. I mean, there's hotter women in the ghetto here in Thailand than there is in Hollywood. You can just see them. They're skinny and super hot and very friendly and all that, right? So don't fall for the hype, Just look at people for what they are and try to figure out what makes sense for you, right? If you fall into the hype and you're supposed to like this, you're supposed to like that, this is supposed to be hot, that's supposed to be hot, like if a woman gets older, she's supposed to still be sexy, like that's just total bullshit. Whatever makes your dick go up, that's what's sexy, right? That's all that's sexy, you know what I mean? That's it. There's no other, you don't need to think, you don't need to ask anybody, you don't need to get a license. You don't need to go to a therapist, whatever your dick gets hard, then you know that's good, right? And then you say, okay, I like that, you know. And if you don't get hard, then you say, well, that wasn't so good, you know. I'm not so into that, right? So there you go. And you'll put your comments down below. You guys, I'm loving the comments. I'm loving the comments and the emails and everything. So I really appreciate it. Anybody has an idea of something you want to hear, and if you have comments, good or bad, I love to hear them all. So I appreciate you guys listening, and have a good one. Subscribe to the channel. Please share this sucker around. We got it on. We got it on Reddit. What's it? Oh yeah. Opt into the email, because we're coming out. There's a manifesto. You can get a free manifesto, Ronin Man Manifesto, which is cool. You can post on your Facebook page, and you know, it's just like something that reminds you of what you know, like the mindset, right? Because it's so easy to fall into get weak, you know. Even Brad Pitt gets weak, right? Everybody can be weak. I can be weak. Every guy can be weak, right? So you got to remember what's going on. You know, keep your eye on the ball, right? Keep your freaking eye on the ball. A lot to be fooled in this world. So hey, thanks for watching. Thanks, and we tried a new style here in this video. So I thought we were gonna go around. And we were gonna. The idea was to comment on people walking down the street, because you see so many men supplicating in the mall and buying things and, you know, carrying things and stuff. But that we'll have to do that in another episode. So either way, thanks for listening, guys. Signing off, Ronin Man.